Let me start with one simple idea. Small habits change big lives. We often think that success comes from one big moment, a lucky break, a big opportunity, or a natural talent. But I've learned that success, real success, comes from what you do every single day. And for me, one of those daily habits was simple. I practiced English for 30 minutes every day. That's it. No expensive teacher. No magic method. No fast results. Just one thing, I showed up every day, for half an hour. And that small daily action changed everything in my life, my job, my confidence, even my future. If you are watching this, you probably want to improve your English too. Maybe you're just starting. Maybe you've been trying for years. Maybe you feel stuck. I understand. I've been there. And today, I want to share with you not just my story, but a lesson. Because learning English is not just about language. It's about building a new version of yourself. One sentence, one word, one habit at a time. Let's go back a few years. I was working an average job in my hometown. I had finished school, I had some skills, but I didn't feel like I had direction. I was doing my best, but I felt limited. I kept seeing job offers that said, English required. I saw videos I wanted to understand, books I wanted to read, people I wanted to connect with. But there was always a wall. And that wall was English. So, like many people, I said to myself, this year, I will finally learn English. I searched online. I found lessons. I downloaded apps. I followed social media teachers. And for a week or two, I was excited. But very soon, like most people, I stopped. Why? Because I tried to do too much, too fast. One day I studied for 2 hours. The next day I was too tired. Then life got busy. And soon, I was back to zero. Maybe you felt that too. So I changed my approach. I asked myself one question. What can I do consistently, even on a bad day? The answer was 30 minutes. Why 30 minutes? Because it's not too little, and it's not too much. It's short enough to fit into a busy life. But it's long enough to create progress. Here's what I told myself. Even if you're tired, do 30 minutes. Even if it's not perfect, do 30 minutes. Even if you don't feel motivated, do 30 minutes. It became a non-negotiable habit, like brushing my teeth or eating lunch. I didn't ask, do I feel like learning today? I simply did it. And when you repeat something daily, your brain begins to change. You don't just learn English, you become the kind of person who learns. And that's a big difference. So, what did I actually do for 30 minutes? Let me be honest, I kept it simple. I watched short English videos with subtitles. I shadowed the speaker, repeated their sentences out loud. I wrote down 3 to 5 new words or phrases I didn't know. I practiced saying them. And I did this every day. No pressure. No tests. No grammar books. Just 30 minutes of focus. Just 30 minutes of effort. Just 30 minutes of building momentum. And after 1 month, I noticed something. I was no longer afraid of English. Let me stop here for a second. Try something right now. Say this sentence out loud with me. I can learn English. I just need to practice every day. Say it again. Now whisper it. Now say it louder. Feel the words in your mouth. Feel the belief in your voice. That is shadowing, and it works. If you're watching this on an English station, pause after this part. Repeat what I just said. Use this story as your daily practice. Shadow me. Learn with me. Let's continue. After 3 months, my listening improved. I could watch videos with fewer subtitles. I could guess the meaning of new words. I started understanding not just the words, but the rhythm, the emotion, the real English. My speaking became smoother. My thoughts became clearer. And I was no longer thinking in my first language, I started thinking in English. That felt like magic. But it wasn't magic. It was momentum. Because learning English is not about being perfect. It's about becoming fluent in action. And fluency doesn't mean knowing every word. It means you can understand, connect, and express. Even with simple words, you can say powerful things. Here's a lesson I learned. Simple is powerful. Many learners try to sound advanced. They use big words they don't really understand. They get stuck trying to be perfect. But I learned to do the opposite. I focused on clear English. I practiced basic phrases. I mastered simple sentence structures. Because simple doesn't mean weak. Simple means clear. Simple means confident. When you speak clearly, people listen. When you speak simply, people understand. So don't worry about sounding smart. Focus on being understood. By 6 months, I had changed. Not just my English, but my mindset. I felt more confident. I started applying for jobs that asked for English skills. I joined online communities. I helped others who were just starting. And suddenly, I became the kind of person who used to inspire me. Because I didn't wait to become fluent. I started using the English I had right away. That's a key idea. Use what you know. Don't wait for perfect. When you use English daily, even just a little, it becomes part of your life. It becomes part of your identity. Let's pause here. Ask yourself, are you practicing every day? Are you making it a habit? What would your life look like in 6 months if you started now? I want you to feel this. You are not bad at English. You're just early in the process. And 30 minutes a day will take you far. I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in thousands of learners. And I believe it can happen for you. After 6 months of daily practice, I began to notice something deeper than just my language skills improving. I was thinking differently. When you learn a new language, you don't just learn new words, you learn a new way to see the world. English started changing how I looked at life. I began reading ideas from different countries, listening to people from all cultures, and learning things I never had access to before. I realized this. English is not just a skill. It's a door. A door to opportunity. A door to connection. A door to self-growth. If you open that door every day, even for 30 minutes, the world starts to open back to you. One of the first real benefits came when I got a remote job interview. I was nervous. The job required English. Not perfect English, but confident, practical English. I practiced my answers using the phrases I had been repeating every day. I even recorded myself speaking and shadowed my own voice, just like you're doing right now while watching this story on at Englishstation. During the interview, I wasn't perfect. I forgot a few words. I paused a lot. But I didn't freeze. I didn't give up. I kept going. And that was enough. They hired me. That job changed my life. I could work from home. I could speak to people in different countries. I was earning more money. I felt proud. Not because I was the best speaker, but because I showed up every day for 30 minutes. That small habit created a big change. And then something even more surprising happened. I started helping other people learn. I shared my story in online groups. I wrote short posts about my daily practice. People began asking me, "How did you do it?" And I told them the truth. No secrets. No hacks. Just consistency. I told them, start today. Set a timer. 30 minutes. Listen. Read. Speak. Repeat. Many of them didn't believe it would work. Some laughed. But the ones who tried, they started improving too. Because when one person changes their life, they become a light for others. Maybe that's what you'll become too. Let's pause. Say this sentence out loud with me. My English is getting better every day. Say it slowly. Say it proudly. Then say it again. Shadow me. That's how you grow. Let's continue. After a year of daily English, I wasn't just a learner anymore. I was a communicator. I had conversations with strangers. I made friends online. I watched TED Talks, read books, and understood most of what I saw. More importantly, I was no longer afraid of English. That fear, that anxiety that lived in my chest when someone spoke English to me, it disappeared. Because confidence doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being prepared. And 30 minutes a day was enough to prepare me. Let me share something I learned from this journey. Motivation comes and goes. But habit stays. Some days, I didn't feel like studying. I felt lazy or tired. But I had made a promise to myself, just 30 minutes. And once I started, even if I didn't feel like it at the beginning, I always felt proud at the end. Discipline is a gift you give your future self. So, give that gift to yourself. Start today. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Many learners ask me, how long will it take me to speak English fluently? And I always give the same answer. That depends on how consistent you are. If you practice 30 minutes a day for 6 months, you'll see results. If you continue for 1 year, your life will start to change. If you do it for 2 years, people will ask you for advice. And the best part? It doesn't feel hard because it becomes who you are. Now let's talk about something bigger. When I was practicing English daily, I also started reading about ideas. About goals. About productivity, finance, health, travel. I discovered that language is a tool, and once you can use it, you can learn anything. English opened the door to personal growth. I learned how to write emails. I learned how to create a resume. I learned how to negotiate, express my ideas, and build relationships. All in English. And suddenly, the person who once felt stuck was now moving forward. Let me ask you a question. What could happen if you practiced for 30 minutes a day for the next 6 months? Think about it. Would you finally understand native speakers? Would you feel confident in interviews? Would you start watching movies without subtitles? Would you begin thinking in English? It's all possible. It's not just a dream. But only if you start and don't stop. I want to say something important now. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need the best teacher. You don't need expensive courses. You don't need 10 hours a day. You need 30 minutes. Every day. No excuses. That's how I did it. And that's how you can do it too. Now let me tell you the truth about progress. It's not a straight line. When I was practicing English every day, there were days when I felt unstoppable, when everything made sense, and I could speak with confidence. But then, there were days I felt stuck. Like I wasn't improving at all. That's called a plateau, and it's a normal part of learning anything. At first, you grow fast. Then the progress slows. And that's where most people quit. But I didn't. And I'm here to tell you, keep going. Because even when you feel like you're standing still, your brain is working. It's organizing new information, making connections, and building a deeper foundation. Learning English is not just about speed, it's about staying in the game. So, what did I do when I felt stuck? I changed things up. I made my 30 minutes more active, more creative, more fun. I started shadowing longer speeches, TED Talks, podcasts, even motivational videos. I would listen to 1 or 2 sentences, pause, and repeat out loud, trying to match the speaker's rhythm, emotion, and tone. This wasn't just about pronunciation. It was about feeling the flow of real English. Try it now with me. I may not be perfect, but I'm improving every day. Say it again. Match my tone. Feel the belief behind the words. This is not just practice, this is transformation. Another thing that helped me break the plateau was writing. I didn't write long essays. I wrote small things, my thoughts, journal entries, short messages. I'd write something like, "Today, I practiced English for 30 minutes. I listened to a video about confidence. I learned 3 new words: determined, improve, consistent." This small act of writing helped me think in English. It trained my brain to switch between languages, and over time, I stopped translating in my head. I simply understood and responded in English. That's a superpower you'll build if you keep going. And of course, there was reading. At first, I read short articles, blog posts, and simple stories. Then I moved to books, biographies, and essays. Here's what I noticed. Reading improved my vocabulary, not by memorizing words, but by seeing them in action. When you see a new word used again and again, you begin to understand it in context. You begin to use it naturally. For example, I didn't memorize the word resilient. I read stories of people who failed, tried again, and succeeded. That was resilience. So the word stayed with me. Not just in my memory, but in my spirit. Now let's talk about confidence. Speaking English is not just about knowing the words. It's about believing in yourself. In the beginning, I was shy. I was scared to make mistakes. But the more I practiced, the less I feared. Here's something I want you to remember. You don't learn to speak by staying silent. You learn by trying. By saying it wrong. By laughing at yourself. And then, by getting better. So speak out loud. Talk to yourself. Record your voice. Use at English Station videos like this one, pause, repeat, shadow, reflect. That's real practice. One day, something amazing happened. I was invited to speak at a local event. They needed someone who could present in English and share their experience learning the language. I hesitated. I felt nervous. But I said yes. And standing there, speaking to a small audience, I realized something. I had become the person I dreamed of becoming, simply by showing up for 30 minutes a day. So what happened next? English gave me the tools to dream bigger. I started applying for international programs. I joined global communities. I made friends in other countries. I even began helping others on their English journey, just like I'm helping you now. And all of this started with a decision. A decision to practice. A decision to be consistent. A decision to not give up. Let's take a moment. Say this out loud with me. I will not quit. I will keep learning. I am becoming better every day. Say it again. Louder this time. Own it. That's how progress feels. Here's something I wish someone told me earlier. You don't just learn English. You become the kind of person who learns English. It's not just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about mindset. About identity. After a year of practicing 30 minutes a day, I no longer saw myself as someone who was trying to learn English. I saw myself as an English communicator. A global thinker. A student of the world. And that changed everything. Because how you see yourself is how you show up. There's a word for this, identity-based learning. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at English," say, "I'm someone who learns English every day." Instead of thinking, "This is too hard," say, "This is part of the process." Your brain believes what you tell it. So give it better instructions. Now let's talk about something powerful, community. After I gained confidence, I joined a small English learning group online. We met once a week to practice speaking and encourage each other. We shared stories, mistakes, jokes, and progress. That group became a big part of my success. Here's the truth. You don't need to do this alone. Find others. Or help others. Teach what you've learned. When you teach, you grow even more. Even watching this video, right now, you're part of a community. a global group of learners who want to improve, grow, and connect. Welcome to that community. You belong here. Let me leave you with a simple daily plan, something you can use starting today. A 30-minute daily English practice. 10 minutes listening practice. Watch a video on at Englishstation, pause and repeat key phrases. Try shadowing, imitating the speaker out loud. 10 minutes speaking or writing. Record your voice. Talk about your day. Or write a short journal entry in English. 10 minutes of reading and vocabulary. Read a story or article. Write down 3 new words and use them in a sentence. That's it. It sounds simple, and it is. But done daily, this routine will change your life. Now, let me ask you one last question. Are you willing to show up for yourself 30 minutes a day? Because the person you want to become is already waiting. The confident English speaker. The job-ready candidate. The curious traveler. The lifelong learner. They're not far away. They are just 30 minutes a day away. If I could go from nervous and stuck to fluent and free, so can you. And remember, you are never too late, too old, or too slow. You are right on time. So here's my advice. Start today. Keep going. And when it gets hard, remember this story. Because it's not just my story anymore. It's yours too. Now, pause the video. Repeat one paragraph out loud. Shadow me. Practice. Reflect. Make this your routine. And come back tomorrow. Your journey has already begun. Welcome to the path. Welcome to progress. Welcome to English. From someone who did it. Now it's your turn.